Let's go.
They coming up the alley. They coming up the alley.
Yo, they coming back.
I hope this election proved that there is no power for black women outside of the family structure with their husband. YT women sold you guys on feminism, and they do a lot of talking. And then they go into the booth, the voting booth, and they vote against you and against everything that they said because they're going home to their family structure and their husbands. Asian women vote inside of the family structure. Latino women vote inside of the family structure. It is our black women who are looking for power that you will never obtain outside of your family structure, because that is where the real power resides.
I'm sure you've seen the quote, "A man's loyalty is tested when he has everything. A woman's loyalty is tested when he has nothing." Of course, we've come to understand that nothing in modern day words could mean that you don't make six figures. Now it's probably closer to $250,000 you have to make, or you aren't willing to fund her full lifestyle and you want to have her contribute to the household, or it could be that you don't have a certain level of clout or status and that makes you a quote unquote brokey. But any way that you choose to look at it, the great amount of attention has been paid to the second half of this quote, to where, how can I get this woman to be submissive to me, or how could I hold frame, or whatever version that you choose to say, so that you could get loyalty from the said woman. But what we haven't spoken about a lot is when. One way of looking at it is that we have a power now that maybe we've never really recognized that we've had by standing on our square in the last election. Or it could just be being in a position where,
Anakin, I have the high ground.
Whichever way you choose to look at it, if you're playing chess or any kind of game of strategy, you have to not only be able to play the game when you are in a weaker position, but you have to be able to play the game when you are in a stronger position. And that is a muscle that many of us have not exercised recently. If you don't exercise that muscle, you're not going to be ready when.
Yo, they coming back.
Let me say this. Are white guys, are they eligible for the playbook?
I don't want to discriminate.
Okay.
But where I am in my life right now, I need black men. That's all I'm going to say.
You won't turn your back on love.
I believe it is out. Y'all got to give me some space for a second.
Right.
I need to come home for a little bit.
You need to come home for a little bit. Okay.
This is probably the most sampled song ever made that I'm sure you're familiar with. Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go. But now since I've seen you, it is on. Later saying, trying to live without your love is one long sleepless night. Let me show you, girl, that I know wrong from right. You know that that's the Jackson 5. But the issue is, if that is your baseline operating system, then you're operating in the "a woman's loyalty is tested when he has nothing" area. And if you take that programming and you apply it to the upper part of this quote, it is not going to work. And that is somewhere where I think many of us as black men need to focus on, because I can assure you,
Here they come.
Black men are poor black men. I'm frustrated.
We love
for
you,
them.
black men.
Black man. Black man. Black man. We love you. Okay, we love you. We need you. You are so necessary. You are literally the backbone to the black family. And not to take anything away from any other races, but there is nothing like having a strong, empowered, successful in his own mind, in his own being, black man. There's nothing like it. Not to get all historical or crazy, but to think that 400 years ago, we were enslaved. Look how far we've come.
Mm-hmm.
Look what we've accomplished with so many indoctrinated, systemic, suppressive, just things that come with naturally being born a black human. Us having to be strong all the time, us having to be tough all the time. Look how far we've come.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we didn't have those strongholds, those obstacles, those things happening?
Absolutely
where we would
not.
be?
No.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
We probably wouldn't be alive if you think about it.
Well, I ain't gonna say what I think, because I don't want to be eaten alive by the internet.
to this woman's credit, this is a video that is 3 or 4 months before the election, but for smart women like this particular woman, they could see a turning of the tide. And in that turning of the tide, there are men who had positions where they were previously weaker, but as people are starting to look around, you can start to see a shift. And the smartest women are the ones who are picking up on the shift first and moving accordingly. I don't know if this young lady is married or not, but what she's saying in her message is a reflection of the fact that she's noticed that a shift has come or is coming, and thus she's moving in such a manner. The real question is, how many of us as Black men are prepared to have the upper hand in the dating process, whether we are staying in the States, whether we are going overseas? And if we are in that position, are we prepared to play the position where we have the quote unquote high ground or have the power properly?
To all my single Puerto Rican ladies, get you a Black man. Yep, I said it. Get you a Black man. You will thank me later. Now, with that being said, they love arroz. And you know what? Then my man got the audacity not to eat meat. So tonight, I'm going to make him arroz con chocha.
That, not good.
What does it look like when you have the high ground, you have the power, and you don't even know it? It looks like this.
See you two out and about.
Thank you. Isn't this beautiful? Mwah. And that's not for television. We kiss all the time, y'all.
Okay, so I have to ask, how are you guys doing? The internet loves you two together. How is it? How's it going?
We're doing well. You know, I think what happens is sometimes in life, God has to break you down to lift you up and put you on another mission. You know, as a street kid, went to jail, came out, I was on a mission to help street youth, and I have for 25 years. Now, I'm on a mission to help Black love. How about that?
Okay, so is he out of the doghouse a little bit? What would you say?
Huh?
Is he out of the doghouse a little bit or something?
That's for her to say, but I think so. But I'm not going to be arrogant enough and cocky enough to speak for her.
Okay, so how much longer until reconciliation between you two? What are we finally,
We're standing here right now together.
Speaks for itself.
I have the high ground.
I have to admit that it's a bit dismaying seeing someone with the powerful position that Judge Greg Mathis has not act accordingly. He is in a position where he has the high ground, and yet he is acting like Anakin. He's acting like the one who doesn't have the advantage, and he's moving accordingly, which goes back to the quote of this video. We spend a great amount of time, or we have spent a great amount of time thinking about the second part of this quote. How can we get the woman's loyalty, which means we have to focus on acquiring, becoming human doing, if you will. But what happens when we get to the position where people are now approaching us, or we have the powerful position, and we goes from the bottom position there to the top where we're in the position where we're quote unquote being tested. And that's why I think the next issue is going to be for us Black men, not just in the dating landscape, but even in the political landscape. How do we behave when people are coming to us? How do we act when we're the ones who have something that other people want? Do we acquiesce very easily? Do we give people what they are asking from us very simply without vetting or challenging them? Because if you see someone like Judge Greg Mathis, he is doing exactly that. He has a powerful position. He doesn't know how to use it. And I think going forward, we're going to have to hone our skills in that particular behalf. Learning how to stand in your square, knowing when someone comes to you and it looks like it's too good to be true in a dating landscape or even in a political landscape, knowing how to vet that process, even though that might be exactly what you want. I think the next frontier for us as Black men in this space is knowing how to stand on our square in the political process, in dating processes, even in having difficulties, ups and downs in relationships in marriage, and being able to say, I'm going to stand on my square. If you're going to walk away, or if you're not going to approach me with the things that I'm looking for in this election or in this election cycle, then we don't have to do business, and you can walk away and I'll be just fine. That is a muscle that I think many of us, especially those of us that are going overseas for the first time and we're looking for something, maybe even a woman to be on our arm, the ability to walk up to that woman and say, you're nice, you're cool, but if you're going to go through this rigmarole and try and play these games, I'm not with it. Go find somebody else. That is a power that we need to work on, because once we know how to wield our elevated position, when we have a position where we can make some demands, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.